Hello folks, today I'm gonna speak about a new software that I found on Steam, an amazing software actually. It's still in, I'm amazed it's still in alpha development, but it goes on quite well. Its name is Portrait Wizard, it's around 20 bucks on Steam. What this little software does is exactly what most game developers would require, namely, well, portraits for their characters. How it works? Well, it basically has a lot of features that one can simply put together and obtain something like this. So instead of commissioning art from other people, which takes time, well, a game developer can simply create their own character portraits in this software. Also, as a bonus, they are royalty free, so it means you can use them anyway and anywhere you want. Now, why am I doing this and why I prefer this? Well, because I also used some softwares to create characters for my video game that I'm working in RPG Maker, and the point is that I also use Comipo, as well as I have also called onto some people to create some commissions for me. I've got a few commissions made around here, as well as a lot of pictures that I created in Comipo. The entire list, well, depending on events, I usually create libraries of pictures that I will use per event to add them as busts in the respective events. I also found out for RPG Maker that the number of pictures that you can name is 100, even if you can type the you see here, show picture, you can type 999 in here, but the point is that it's still gonna be saved as maximum 100. Having reached this limit is not necessarily a bad thing for me, because I won't be using 100 pictures anyway for a single event. Usually I have very lengthy events. Yes. Now, since I am working on a little event around here, which is a dialogue in between two characters, Miyumi and Xandara, the event will require me adding some busts, which I would normally create in Comipo, but since I discovered this little software, I created some how to say, yes, I created some portraits like here. Usually when you create a portrait you end up with two files, a BMP, which is the picture, but unfortunately this format is not compatible with RPG Maker, and you also have the ini file, which you can also open in this Portrait Wizard app. This one stores all the variables that you choose. Now, how this Portrait Wizard works? Well, basically you choose either English or Chinese. I'll go for English because why not? And you'll be presented with this interface, which is a bit tricky in a way. Now, in order to see below, you have to use two buttons. You have to keep Control pressed so that you move downwards, and Shift to move upwards. It took me a while to understand this, and once you can do this, well, basically you have access to both this menu as well as some of the options that become available in here. Now, if we are to create a face, well, basically I have a few in here. The first thing that I noted about this one is that it really does not upload any background that you added and is not within the game files, I mean Portrait Wizard's files. For example, this one uses a background that I have in RPG Maker. If I choose to upload this one that has just a red background, it will load it. It also comes with a bit of nuisance, because when you want to save pictures that have an unknown background, like this one, you'll have to save them in a way that we'll test in a bit. So let's exit it and let's create a character. In order to create a character, you usually start with the face. So let's see, we will create a new character for our game, like a face for that character. Let's see, I usually go for this facial feature. Now with hair, you can choose from multiple hairs, like for example this. Basically it's just like character creation in most MMOs. Okay, since I've played Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, I can say that this game actually has more hair options than the two, probably even World of Warcraft and other well-known MMOs. There are also some Viking related stuff, like Norse stuff with braids. There are numerous things to choose from. You can use Asian style, you know, headpieces, hairstyles, Norse like, something like this. You can also have something like this, very trashy, messy hair, which is something that I actually like. There are numerous of options. I think this one looks a bit like Riven, I think. I'll choose this one, let's say. Now you can also choose to add side hair. For example, I don't know, you can add like braids if you want. More braids, one braid. I think there will be options to add your own bits. Probably if you look in the files right here, probably you have to create different or just drag the pics here, or probably you have to create another folder. If you create a folder here, probably you will have other pages in here, but I could say that I'm sufficient with what is shown in here. So let's see, there was in portraits. Okay, so let's see, what hair should we put? We can choose this. Yes, this. You can also control like the right side, so you can have it be symmetrical. You can place whatever else you want, even if it's not necessarily symmetrical. But I'd just prefer it if it were. Oh, that's really so much hair. Alright, so let's leave it like this. You have also control for back hair, like, you know, you could make something like this and something like this, so that the character also has a ponytail. And there are some preset colors, like you can have it white, you can have this interesting indigo color, something like this, which probably I'll choose. I already have a violet haired character. I'll go for this one since it's interesting. You can play with these colors, like move them up, down, change the colors, or with the wheel button. It's... oh, this color is cute. I think I'll leave it like this for the moment. And also changing saturation and brightness. The others become available at other assets. You can make it brighter, or you can make it somewhat less bright. Let's leave it like this. Ooh, me likey. Look at my shine. So let's leave it something like this for now. You can also add mustache and a beard. I think at body one can choose the gender, but for the moment let's leave it a female. Now eye sizes, one can actually choose so many eye shapes. But usually I go for this one or this, something like this. we need some bigger eyes. Here we have the some axes that we can use, and also with the eyes these other ones become available. So let's see again. We can make let's improve the width. So you have the X, which is the width. Let's leave it like this. Since they're covered by hair, one may not realize that they are wider or shorter than they should be. Let's make them not that squint. Let's make them a bit larger because they are anime-like eyes. We can make them, I think this bar here makes them larger or smaller. I'd prefer them something like this. This bar moves them upwards or downwards. I don't know if you can create four-eyed characters yet, but I think the eyes should stay somewhere around here. The iris size can be made smaller or larger, and basically you can control the eye squint of each eye. Like, you can make an eye smaller or larger, but let's leave them equal because, well, we should. Let's see, first of all we need to match the hair color. So basically we need some less of this, and a bit of yellow before it gets into the blue side, and voila. Now let's change a bit the saturation, something like this. Enough brightness. Opacity makes them more or less phantomatic. You could create a few, I don't know, you could create a few pictures, like the eyes, for example, appear like this. They are another, they appear somewhat like, I don't know, the character is facing a different direction. You fade them something like this through one or two pictures, and then you have them magically appear like this. For a comic, for example, it would be a nice idea, but you have to create several pictures and you have to animate them one after the other. So the spacing and the angling, they're basically simple. Ooh. You can make them characters look more or less alien. Let's leave it like this for now. Alright. Now one can also add some sort of makeup whose color they can also change. These two things here allow the player to allow the developer, or whatever you want to call them, the user, to move the eyes sideways, while this one allows for moving eyes upwards or downwards. Actually, there's also this icon that so well explains many of the things, and it's nice that it explains things specifically on which of these panels you are. In my case, I won't be needing any of these. You can also remove these, and through these diskettes here one can load a different model for the left and for the right eye. Highlights are different visuals that one can add, like this one, for example, or a star, something like this, to make them look more kawaii. It's a bit funny that the hair should theoretically mask a part of this, but it doesn't. I for one would go for this. Lashes, if you want your character to look I'd go for this one. Yeah, I think I'd go for this one. Well, I think that one can also I doubt someone can change actually the lashes color. A glare is a funny option. You can make your character angry. You can give them different eye hues, like, oh, this one is pretty neat. All in all, I believe it is an awesome thing to use for any developer who'd be interested in creating portraits for their own characters. Like, it doesn't create 3D versions like you can create in Viroid or Maya, for example, or Blender. But with this software you can create some portraits, and based on that you can simply get to know what your character will look like, facially speaking. This one is a personal favorite, the idea to control how your character's iris will look. You can have it look like this and be somewhat blank, I mean no colors. You can have it look like this. There are several shapes to choose from. You can also load a different model for each in case you create your own one. Oh, this one is so cute. I will personally go for let's see, can we reduce the saturation for this one? Ooh, this would be the embodiment of shark eyes. This one, this one. I think this one would be the most appropriate. And shadow, in case these shadows seem to resemble some of the masks a character can use. For example, this one looks like the character's wearing a mask, and when they suddenly appear without that mask they also leave a shadow. Also, in some cases, if you don't have overflowing hair, like, you know, hair covering the face that much, you can simply have it so that the mask, I mean the blackness of the mask here, let's see, can we change the color of the mask, of the shadows? Ooh, one can actually do that. So basically I think one can make it even darker, and you can make a great contrast with the eyes if you have the patience to, well, stay and apply it and try and apply it. Let's see, the brows, I'm okay with that, but you can choose from numerous options. Now that the hair kind of covers them, it's basically of little interest. Yeah, let's have it something like this. One can also change their angling. Let's make them somewhat like this. Move them a bit upwards. You can make them thicker or thinner through this. You can make them move independently, like rotate in the opposite direction to show different emotions like confusion. You can make them smaller or larger, but I prefer them be something like this. Now the nose is interesting. There are numerous, and I repeat, there are numerous. Let's make it something like this, because usually it's twice the height of the eyes, something like this. So basically there are different types of nose that one can choose from. You can also use more troglodyte noses, more alien-like, somewhat bird-like, for example. Minotaur, Undead if you want. This software allows the creation, I think, even of non-human characters, but I prefer keeping to human characters for now. Also, you can choose to simply not use any nose. And again, you can make it wider, or you can make it simply less wide, something like this. I think the nose should be around this. Now the mouth, there are many mouths to choose from. Numerous designs, numerous models for beasts, for humans. I personally prefer this lip line because they look somewhat human. Be something like here. Make it a bit larger. Someone more human-like and a bit extended. Let's say something like this. You can also play with the colors. You can make the lips different colors. If you want them to be pinkish, to be somewhat more red, let's make them more red. Oh, that one looks nice. Brightness. Oh my. Oh, so much red. It could be something. Now, something about the eyes just makes them... I should be making these eyes something like this basically, because I do have a faint sensation that they're somewhat too big. Something like this. And now the brows, I need to move them a bit downwards. Okay, so let's see. Now we ended with the mouth, the chest. Usually these two up ones for the female look somewhat, well, they do show some kind of breast, like basically they're oversized breasts, so those would go well with some kind of heroic females. I choose this one usually, the last one. Now, considering there's so much hair, you basically can't see the body that much. Now, with the body, one can choose also what to wear, and also note that these, now with all that much hair, I can't show them that much. Now, since I'm creating characters for a, well, they are basically students, you can use either this one, or this one, or this one. I think this one actually. It resembles more of a dress. Let's see. Let's make it a similar color, or let's make it black so that... no, actually let's make it red, because it needs to create a... let's see, red, purple, something like this, and something like this. Okay, because it needs to make a powerful contrast with it should look very similar to the lips. One can also choose stuff that can be shown here at the neck. It's interesting that it appears behind the hair, as it should be. We can put some critters like a rat or a dragon, a lizard actually, and numerous things that, well, in my case they don't serve me because it's about a student. And also one can choose shoulder platings, like, you know, and also they are symmetrical. And again, one can also load their own options. It does come up with some interesting choices, including some sci-fi looking gear, but again I don't need it because, well, and they're also symmetrical. They can be placed symmetrically. Quite interesting for a software. This one here is very useful in case one wants their character to look older, or to have some sort of shadows, like in this case I don't really mind it. I think something like this. Forehead texturing, in my case, it won't look that nice, but you know, you can have more wrinkles, more lines, whatever you want. There are numerous assets to choose from. Battle scars. Ooh, stitches. Different battle scars. And tattoos. One can also choose from a multitude of ears, like elvish, night elf ears, or you know, something like this, taller ears. I'd really wish that you could actually get sooner or later the possibility to enlarge the ears in case you need something, well, like blood elven ears. There's also nekomimis as a bonus, but for the moment we won't need ears because why would we? Helmets. There are numerous helmets that can be used, from hoodies whose colors cannot be changed to some kinds of helmets, ornaments, you know, things that usually go on the forehead, or well, something like that more or less. An all-seeing eye. Personally I prefer this one or this one, they look really cute. Let's make these eyes actually let them large as they were, but helmets, let's remove the helmet. A wedding, if you want. Black hood with stitches, something like Misfortune from League of Legends wears, I don't know how to call it. Some, I don't know, demonic stuff. It's interesting, it has quite some decent options. I mean decent, they're pretty cool. There are some masks one can use. Ooh, blindfolds. Ah, you can't change the color. Ah, well. Blindfolds, ooh, kinky. And there are more or less different, even sci-fi options to choose from. Ooh, this one looks nice. And glasses. Also you can choose worms, like, yes, but let's put some glasses, why not? I haven't created any character yet with glasses, So why not? Now the backgrounds can be very different. I won't be choosing one because for some reason you cannot delete them. I mean, you cannot unselect them. So basically, when you reach this moment, you'd be better at actually saving your file. um, let's think of a name. Let's call this one Tachibana for some reason. And when you save your character, you have her name appear somewhere around here, and you have a BMP map picture, and also the ini, which keeps in mind all the variables you have chosen. When you load the file, you can also load the ini as well, either this or the picture itself. Some of the pictures I have created simply don't show because I gave them a background that was not from the software, and it just won't spawn, or you'll probably not see the BMP show up here. So basically what you do is you load the ini itself. Some probably cannot be loaded. How you do that? You choose whatever you want, and then you pick load. If you double click it or press enter, it won't work. And to cancel, click cancel. The how to call it? Oh yes, the controls are still a bit itchy, but I'm guessing they are being worked upon. Oh, you can choose weapons. I almost forgot. Like different weapons, different positions. A staff, a weapon that is placed behind you. I mean, it is not sheathed. Two swords, using fires, casting a heal or lightning, casting a fire. It basically has some things. This one looks nice. Let's save this separately. Spellcaster. When you load a picture or you want to save the picture again, you do that by simply typing the name again, and it overwrites without asking you to. So you have to keep this in mind as well. Let's eat some more chocolate. There are also guns, something like an Uzi, Viking-like weapons, swords, double daggers, one dagger, the opposite side, a mace, a cudgel, cool. Or you can make your character a bard. Spellcaster, she sings meticulously. There are different options to play with. The scene, well, this one gives an interesting effect based on whatever you want. If you want your character to feel more like, you know, she's some kind of healer or some dark mastermind, I don't know, you choose. Cancel. Tsukiko think. Save. Now let's do the troublesome part. We will choose a background that is not in this software, this one from RPG Maker. It loads it quite instantly. It's not even a challenge, not even a problem. But the point comes when you want to save it, like Tsukiko, let's save it as BG. We save it, it says it is saved. Wait, it's Tsukiko BG. Really? It did save it? At times it does make a fuss. Let's rename it to Tachibana BG. Tsukiko BG.ini. Let's also change this one into Tachibana BG. The point at times is that it won't show you the BMP picture. It only shows you the ini for pictures that use backgrounds you don't have. Probably I have used it before, so it's most likely stored into some kind of short-term memory until you choose exit. The lighting effect allows for different lights to be placed on the character. Unfortunately, they cannot be turned off one by one, but there is the option to just turn them all off. So you have to play with each, see each one what highlights, you turn them off, and you do it again based on, and you only turn on those that you need. For example, you only want here, you accidentally click this one, turn off, and again. No, I think this one would suffice. And again we'll save as Tsukiko BG. Save. Really? Tachibana BG. And it was applied. Now the question comes, how do we add this into this? Well, in order to do that, we need to open Clip Studio, because there's a slight little problem. RPG Maker only understands what was it? Because for some reason I always forget. It's PNG, yes, PNGs. Okay, so it does understand only PNGs. So in order to let's see, we multiply this, we put it here, set starting position player in here, we also save. Now let's see, we have to choose paint, and we need to change the extension of these pictures. How we do that? Well, very simple. We start opening each of them. Let's see, project 1, RPG Maker, common, portrait wizard, and MNO portraits. Okay, so we load this one, save as PNG, let's call it Tachibana class BG. Save. Oh wait, I almost forgot. background, Tachibana, spotted, now witness, that should be okay. Hopefully it saves it. Tachibana, let's see, Tachibana witness, and as I expected, it does not save it. See, in this case it does not save it. I don't have any PNG for this one. In order to do that, you basically exit, you re-enter it, or in my case it worked a few times. You should load this, okay, and then you add the background again. See, hopefully you keep in mind which one was. We have this one, okay, and now you save it with the ini name, like it gives you this one. If you save it like this, the filename.ini, you'll see here that you have filename.ini instead. So basically you save it once, it saves it at times without the background, then when you save it a second time, it also shows you the background. It's something a bit tricky, but I'm happy I found out how to go around this one. Now let's see, exit, portrait wizard, loads, we have Tachibana simply, we have her with the background, the witness which does not work, yes, witness, oh wait, witness BMP, that's, oh wait, that's someone else. So we have Tsukiko and Tachibana witness .ini, which serves no picture actually. This one .ini serves this picture, and this one serves basically no picture. So let's see. So we have this one, and we're gonna save it as just witness. Let's save it like this so that I don't get overwrites. So I will have her, I require both this red background and this class red background for the different situations that I will use in the game. Now let's see, we have saved this one as a PNG, which is here. Cool. We open the next one, which I require. I require this one of Ayano. I will save this one as Ayano normal .png. Save. Open the other one. Alright, let's see. So Miyumi normal, I also have her as I put her in the files. Which one did I put as a PNG? Let's change the name to thoughtful, because I also need to know the stances when I put them in game. And now I have to introduce this one, file save as Tachibana. We have well, no, it's Tachibana normal, and that's all. And we require PNG. Now we require another one. Let's see which one is the next. I have each of these three. So let's see, we have thoughtful class BG and Tachibana normal, and we need to change these two, I think. Yes, we need to save this one as Tachibana, witness general, PNG, save. It's a lot of work, I know, but rather than also having to, you know, do the work of creating your own digital drawing, I just prefer doing this instead. So we have this Tachibana, she's in case witness, and class BG, of course, PNG. Now I've also made this character, which we will save the picture as Tsukiko class BG. Let's say it's amazed, class BG, PNG, save. And we're gonna open the last one for now, which is this, and we will save it. Obviously Tsukiko witness general, because it's a general background, PNG, save. Now we're gonna search for PNGs, and for some reason it well, we take these and we place them in the corresponding folder. We don't cut, and I mean, we could cut these because the software doesn't want PNGs, if I remember correctly. Now I have to look on desktop, the shortcut, so that I no longer stay and search it in Steam. Pictures, and we have let's call these student Tsukiko, so that I don't waste time searching them after each letter. Student, we have T Tachibana, class simple. Really? Alright, now that they're added in here and they're actually quite 6, let's see how they look. We can close this one, we can close this one. Let's see how they will look in here. Let's see, I'm guessing there was this one which I created in here, and this one which I created in here, and I play tested their variables. So basically what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna put this here because it has the right variables. I should Portrait Wizard always saves under the same resolution. It always has the same resolution as of what I've seen. Now let's see, we have student this one. Okay, 2, okay, 3, okay, okay, again save. This one save as 4, 4, okay, okay. Now this one and this one need to be saved somewhere separately. Okay, for now. Let's see, where do I save these? Well, basically I have the image library in here. Let's separate them through a command and say Portrait Wizard. The more spaces you create, the easier it is to read. So okay, let's save for the moment. And now let's see, 5, okay, and 6, okay, okay. Now what I have made here is a choice. You choose what picture to be shown, it stays for 3 seconds and then it is erased. So basically that's how I test how pictures look within my game. You see, and when you give a picture a name, make sure that the erase matches the name so that you erase the certain picture. If you put multiple pictures with the same name, if you say erase number 5, it will erase all instances of pictures that are called number 5 or whatever name you said. So let's save and let's test whether the variables apply correctly to these pictures as well. This one's been a quite lengthy video. So it's actually the 100% version. The picture here, if I remember correctly, I read somewhere on Steam that the pictures are somewhat 800 to 600 pixels. They are saved in such a format, like we could actually see. Common, Portrait Wizard, portraits. It's 800 times 957. Yes, but they probably, I think they're all the same format. So if we look at them, it's exactly what I need. In my case, you can make the pictures smaller. Why I use them like this? Well, because basically you can have this picture appear, then you can put some text. Usually I put it above so that it doesn't ruin the face, and you know, you use it for different situations. Like, let's say this case, the character has seen you commit a murder, boom, you get this picture and a few lines like, you know, imagine how could you, or something like that. That's kind of all. Now, if you are interested in how I made the variables, these are the scale width and height. I kept it as opacity like this, and direct designations you enter like this, and it should look just like in my case. If you want it to be like a bit ghostly, use the multiply option, and it will make your picture look a bit ghostly. If you do this, however, let's see how it turns out. It will look ghastly, like transparent a bit. So you see, instead of looking like this, it will look something like this, which gives more or less a psychotic look, something like, you know, just Monica or something like that from Doki Doki. Do note that when you choose this option, you can get a bit screwed by the background. So if you have a character that's a color somewhat similar to your background, it could be a problem. So what can I say? Kind of, I think I will do something like this. It would be preferable that you have a how to call it, normal, an image library of all your pictures. Also, do remember to rename your pictures, to give them names, and their names can only be numbers, so always remember to give them a corresponding number, and also delete them in case you don't want two instances of the same character to appear. Now let's delete this one. Let's copy the 6 here. Let's also choose multiply, 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 in case you want that super awesome effect. How can this be used? Well, basically when someone comes into your mind, or in the mind of the character the player is playing with, well, basically when a character is brought into importance and you don't need a full-fledged picture to cover the map. Okay. Now let's take this 6. Okay. Put them in the image library on this map. Portrait wizard. I also have this one and this one in here. Put it here. 7. Also, never forget to rename them. Portrait wizard, game characters, students. We're gonna copy this and this and this and this. Okay. We're gonna make another command here. Students, multiply layer effects. It is easier to see if you put multiple lines in the same command. So we have apply OK. I can delete this one because it serves me no purpose. Player, move there, save, and basically that's all. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.